In this section, we will cover the magic targeting method, basically how you create the templates and all the audiences you need for initial testing. This will be applicable in case your client doesn't have proven audiences that convert well for him, and you're just like starting with that account, or it's your business and you want to generate leads or sales for yourself, and you don't know where to start, from which audiences to start. So in this video, I'll show you 3 types of audiences that you can basically target using Facebook. I'll show you how to create them. I'll show you how to create targeting templates using the tool called Quaya, which makes everything very easy and straightforward for further running ads. And I'll basically break down each step of this process, how we define which audiences we will be targeting, why we will be targeting those audiences, and so you know exactly what to do with it. I know that targeting is a big issue for a lot of Facebook advertisers, but with this training, you'll know exactly what to do and who to target in your ads, even if there is no data and you don't know where to start. So on Facebook, you can basically target 3 types of audiences. So the first one is specific interests. So for example, when you're setting up your Facebook advertising campaigns, you have this kind of dashboard. Then you go below that, and here you have the section where you put the detailed targeting. Basically, you put here some interests and or some keywords or behaviors of your ideal target audience. So as we have done in the previous exercise, we have so this we worked with this store as an example. This store is selling kids clothing, and we have identified yesterday in the previous video that we want to go after people, after women who are married and who are aged from 25 to 45 years, who are 25 to 45 years old, based on our data from our customers. So that's what we have identified using custom audiences and data that we already had. In case you don't have it, you can go after, in case this is new product, you can do the analysis as I showed in another video, using tool called Alexa, where you can identify whether you want to go after women or men initially, and what type of age, and whether they're married or not. And so we have this kind of initial template here, and now we basically want to sell with this client. We want to sell more of kids clothing. So for us, good performing audiences could be like kid clothing, kids clothing, children clothing, sorry, children's clothing. Here you go. So this is one of the interests that you can basically target on Facebook. And here you have this interesting tool, which is basically suggestions, and it will give you a whole lot of like interests that you can basically target them straight away. These are good enough. Like this, you can target parents, you can target people who are interested in childcare, pregnancy and newborn magazine, which definitely is a good one to target. You can target I'm pregnant and one of the interests. So all of these keywords that you can see here, just once you put some initial keyword in here, in this box, or initial behavior or demographic or interest, and you click suggestions, Facebook will give you the whole list of audiences that you can target. So all of these audiences we could potentially target. So I'll just select them as an example, and we would copy them and we would insert them into our it would be more like interests here. So I'll create another field, interests, and we would put it in here. So these are kind of initial interests that we can target with Facebook. And as you can see, Facebook is very helpful. They want their advertisers to be successful. So they're helping you basically to identify which audiences are converting and not necessarily converting, but which ones are relevant to the ones you put in there. So this is kind of like the helpful tool when you're just starting out. You have this available to you. So the next type of categories that you can utilize basically is a lookalike audience, and a lookalike audience is a type of audience that you can create using another type, custom audience. So to create lookalike, basically you'll need to upload your customers data. So you would need to create audience, custom audience, customer file, and you would either click here and upload it from CVD, CSV, or text file, or you would just copy paste their emails in here. And for instance, if you have like 1,000 buyers, like typically Facebook will find 600, like 60%, 60, 70% of those people will identify them on Facebook, that you can basically pinpoint those people and show your advertising only to them. But we are not going to target our existing customers. We uploaded the customer list here, and we've done it earlier. We uploaded it to Facebook in order to like, first of all, upsell to these people, possibly different, like new arrivals, get them to share more, you know, get them to share the word about the business, and also we can create lookalike audiences based on those. So what lookalike audiences is when you have your like core audience, like buyers in your store or in your business, and you have quite a significant number of those people, like 1,000 or even more, like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 people. You upload that list into Facebook using the method I've just showed you here, using customer file or import from MailChimp. And then what you do is you can create lookalike audience. So Facebook will help you to find more people who are very similar to the ones you have in your database, the ones which are your customers. So you would create lookalike audience, and here you would choose United States, for instance, if this is your main market, and you would click 1%. You have also the option here to create multiple audiences at the same time, so like 6 audiences with different percentage. So for instance, this one, 8%, is is not as efficient and is not close to ideal customer as this 1%. So typically you would, like when you're just starting with new account, you would start with 1%. So you would create this. I'm not sure I'll not be able to create it because I already have this audience here. So here it is. This audience is already existing, so I cannot create it. But that's how you create it, basically. So then you'll have about 2 million people, 1.5, 2 million people who are similar to your ideal buyers, and that you can target them on Facebook. So this, like, we covered main 3 categories of targets. So that's kind of like what we have on Facebook, but using the big variety of these audiences, we can we can have like tons of different audiences and we can segment them, and that's exactly what I'll show you further in this video. So now we'll get to creating initial targeting templates for testing. So we already have like some interests and some brands that we can basically target on Facebook. And so what we'll do is, like, first of all, what I just showed you, you upload your buyers, active subscribers, and unsubscribers list to Facebook custom audiences. That's what I've showed you. You click here, here, and then here, add customers, and then you create lookalike audiences, as I just showed you, from your 1% of your buyers list. And then you exclude buyers and subscribers list in templates, so that that is not relevant on this stage. I'll show you how to do it in the later section of this video. Run Facebook audience insights on your buyers and subscribers separately. So that's what I showed you in another video. I just want this video to be more like more diverse, to show you all the options you have with targeting on Facebook. So with this one, for instance, we have uploaded all the customers. This is all paying customers, and here you can see all the audiences that we can target. So for instance, people who are purchasing from this store have interest in this specific store. So I would just brands. So I would just take a note of all of these, and initially I would go after stores that have the highest affinity, as I showed you before. So like first 30 stores that have the highest affinity. So that means that their audiences are very, very similar to the audience that we have with our store, and that means that those audiences are much likely to convert. So we can copy all of these, for instance. Okay, let's copy this, and we have install. So I would recommend you copy around 30 of these audiences to, like, for initial targeting if you don't have much of the data. So then we come back, like we have created those audience insights. We have identified which of these audiences are basically like similar to our ideal customers. So if we would target people who are, as you remember yesterday, we have identified 25 to 45 as ideal age. So we would go after 25 to 45 because it's like the majority of customers are of this age frame, and we just want to focus on 80% of this would be only women. So this is majority of the audience, and we would copy 30 audiences from here at least. If you have more, just copy them into your template, because what you need to understand is that not all of these audiences, for instance, if I want to target people who like Gigi and Max, it's not necessarily possible with Facebook. So I just want to show you here. So if I want to insert it here, no, it won't allow me to target these people. Like some audiences are possible to target and some are not. So you would basically copy, like, as many of them as possible. I would recommend around 30 to start with. And what to do if you don't have the buyers list, or you don't have subscribers list. So this store is already has this data, but what to do if you don't have it? For instance, you're starting from scratch, but you know that you want to enter I don't know, like or you want to enter like the health market, or your client wants to enter the health market. So you would start, for instance, with paleo, because this kind of the audience that is um, like very like the audience that is very like in the market he wants to basically target. And as you can see how many audiences are here for Paleo. So you would simply run the like the insights for your competitors or for some general interests. So for instance, you know that your competitor is Dr. Axe, for example. It's one of the like health and in health niche is one of the major influencers. So you know that his audience, like you can basically identify who is his audience, and you can see that 35 to 65 is his main audience. If you want to target the same market, you would go after the same people because these are your ideal buyers. And then what you would do is you would identify the, I'm not sure why it's it. Okay, 90, yeah, so 800. So then you would identify the like the other audiences that you can target along with Dr. Axe. So Anne Marie Skincare, Alternative Daily, Wellness Mama, and so all of these interests, Paleo Secret, the Paleo Secret coach, Mindy Weight Loss, and all of this stuff. So you can basically have these all in your template if you were in a healthcare. So you would have them under interests here. I won't copy it because we're in different market, but that's what you would do. So you would run the audience insights here for your three main competitors in the market that you're entering. And you would identify the what other similar pages you can target, what other similar interests you can target, and then you would copy. You would also identify what is main audience of those like those people are following, what ages, what gender, and stuff like that. You can easily identify just by checking out your competitors' pages. So we have done with this. So now we have run audience insights on buyer and subscribers. We build a group of 30 interests. So this I'll show you how to do in a sec. And then we have done this. We have done 30 specific interests. So you can, as you can see here, like from audience insights, you can use as many. Like they're not unlimited, but for example, let's get back to Paleo diet. Paleo Secret. Let's say Paleo Secret is one of our main competitors. So you can see like how many of these like other pages you can target, like 30, 50, I don't know, 100. So a lot of them. So you can basically like have all of them and see which one of those are the most relevant, and then later on you'll check which one of those are converting. So we have this, we have built it. So even if you're starting from scratch, if your client's starting from scratch, you can have this initial targeting template ready just by checking out your competitors and seeing what interests they have. So now we would create custom audience templates. We would so for that we would go to Quaya, and Quaya is a tool basically to automate the creation of Facebook advertising. So for instance, it would allow you to create like hundreds of ad sets and hundreds of ads just in a few minutes, while using manual method like AdWords Manager or Power Editor. You would like it will take you much more time. And also Quaya allows you to split test a lot of things, like age, for instance. If you would want to test like if you want to break down this age into different ad sets and test people like from 25 to 35 and 35 to 45, you would have it here. If you want to test every 5 years, you can also do it just with one click of the button. And as you can see, it will split automatically into different segments. So when you're starting to advertise, it will make your life much easier. So we'll now create the templates with our buyers and with our subscribers. So we have customers with LTV. So we can basically create the template here. So these are all the customers that we had with this business. So we can have the template here. Template, this would be customers, all customers, let's say. So we have this template here. So the reason why we do this, guys, is because we want to have all these templates ready. So when we're starting to advertise, we can simply, like, with few clicks of the button, like very quickly create new ads, like test out new audiences, and basically have basically have those like tests running as fast as possible. So here we have all subscribers. So we can also save it as Okay, so it just edited the old one. I needed to create the new. Okay, this is LTV. I needed to create new template here. Okay, so this would be all customers. We can save it. We can close it now, and we create new template. We also choose United States, because this is the main market for this specific client, and we do the targeting. Because these are subscribers, we don't have any kind of limitation, but based on age, these people that express interest in our service, in our product. So we would simply have it here, and we would save it as all subscribers. So we would have it here, and as you can see, we're just creating all subscribers, all customers, and we have all these templates ready to go, basically, when we are ready to advertise. So that's what we are doing here. We wouldn't exclude buyers and subscribers. The reason, so in a second I'll show you. So we have created these. Now we have the ability finally to those list of audiences that you can see here. We can create, like, easily United States. So we can easily create audiences that we can test, like different audiences that would be split tested automatically. So we have identified these are our ideal customers. So we will now try to put as many audiences here. As you can see here, I can target this audience, and I can target, okay, so this fit pregnancy, maternity closing, and we can have suggestions here, as you can see. So we can have this one, this one, this one. So you would either copy interest from here, or this tool, Quaya, has very similar capabilities as Facebook. So it would show you interest that you can target. So baby shower, and all of these interests. And we also have a bunch of different brands that we wanted to target, MudPie, and now we would ask for suggestions. Oh, it won't give us many suggestions. We'll try these and see if these are appearing. Well, yes, it's appearing, and this is another brand that we can target. This is another brand that we can target, and this is another brand that we can target. So we can either get some suggestions from here. Facebook will help us to find some similar audiences to the ones we want to target, or we can use audience insights that we have found here, and we have put them in this template here. So we have this, for example, like we have like 20 or something audiences, and I just want to show you something now, very interesting. So what you would do is you want to click split here, and what it would do, it like split your basically it will create certain different ad sets that you can test very, very fast. And for all of these, we want to exclude our customers, and we want to exclude subscribers. We want to exclude all subscribers that we had, because we don't want to target the same people that we already have targeted, because like we don't want to bother them. If people have purchased, they don't want to see the same message over and over. We'll have specific messages for those people, but we just don't want to target them. So we'll save this template, and this will be, let's say, I don't have 30, but I'll call it 30 interests and behavior testing template, and we can save it now. So as you can see, it has appeared here. I don't have 30, but it's, and as you can see, if I double click on it, it's my template. 13 segments, because 13 audience in here, audiences, and female, the age that we have identified. We don't split the age, we only have country targeting. We have excluded customers and subscribers. We don't want to bother them. So we have already, we basically have this template. So when the time comes to testing audiences, we have already this template. So we just create ads, and we create posts that we want to use for testing, and running like those 13 in this case, but we can run even 100 different segments, 100 different ad sets. Like launching them will take just a few minutes instead of hours that we would spend using Adverts Manager or Power Editor. And now we can also here, using the asset library, we can create the audience of people that, for instance, have visited our website in the last 30 days. So all website visitors last 30 days. So because the pixel of this website is installed through through all the pages, we can have this audience created, and we can create lookalike audiences based on this audience, because these are likely people who are interested in our products and our service, and we can create lookalikes based on those. So if you don't have like 1,000 customers that are the paid customers for you, you can test as the audience of lookalike of visitors of your website. And here you can also target different countries, as you can see, United States in our case, but also again you can have 6 different audiences created. So you can have 6 different audiences just with one click of the button. So there, when the time comes to test, you have a lot of audiences to test, and you're not just starting from scratch. It will take some time to create those audiences, especially we have created 6, so it will take some time for Facebook. I would give it about 12 hours, 24 up to 24 hours to create them. Usually it's much smaller. But here we have it, guys. We have the template for targeting, like different templates for targeting that we can use when we launch our ads, when we have identified the images and ad copies that we want to use. And also another, like after you have created, you can also have it in Quaya, another targeting, for instance, custom audience, all website visitors, for instance. Okay, this one is not created. Okay, website, exclude purchase. So I have already had this kind of audience, and yeah, as you can see, 110 people, 110,000 people. So these people who have visited the website but haven't completed the purchase. And you can have this, like create this save as all website visitors 180 days without purchase. So you can have it created here as well. So as you can see, all website visitors 100 days without purchase. So the next step in our process would be to refine our templates. So the way you can do it is you can do it on this stage. Like to refine your template, you'll need to like think about it as your main target audience. So for instance, if you're targeting young moms who are buying kids clothing for newborn kids, like most likely those those women are married, because if they have kids, they're likely to be married. So that's kind of one of the like audiences that we can target, like one of the refinements that we can have. So we can have this one, and we can even refine it even farther. So we can have it here. As you can see, I'm not sure it's reduced because it's obvious that majority of them will be married. Oh, it's actually not reduced much. So as you can see, like okay, so it was 3.7, now it's 2 million. Oh, it's almost reduced 2 times in size, seems like, if we would narrow our audience. But guys, you need to understand like what is typical for your niche. Like in this niche, people who are buying, most likely they're married, but but maybe not all of them, because there's like half of them are not married. So like this is like double-edged sword, because on the other side you can make your audiences more refined and targeted, but on the other side you can also eliminate some portion of buyers. So for now I would just leave it as it is, but you just need to remember that you have this option. If your audiences do not work, I would test this approach and just would try to refine your audience maybe one step farther, depending on your target audience. So if you're selling some product which is only suited for single people, or only suited for married people, you would refine it based on your offer and based on your audiences. So in part 3, so right now we have like after we have identified what we want to target initially, we have these templates in place, and like I've showed you how to create lookalike audience from your retargeting pixel, but you need to wait at least you get at least 1,000 people pixeled, because these audiences are very like the more pixel people you have on your pixel on your specific page, for example, more people have purchased your product, the more refined will be the Facebook targeting. So that's why, over time it becomes easier and easier to find buyers, and accounts that spend a lot, they have usually much easier time to find buyers. And because Facebook algorithm is finding buyers for them, they know which people are likely to buy the product, and they're just consistently showing them to those people. Again, you would exclude buyers or subscribers list in that template, because you would basically you don't want to target those people. Again, you want to show some specific message to those people. And then next step, if that is not enough, you have already exhausted all the audiences that you have, all the audiences that we have created together. Then you can create 5% lookalike audiences from any interest that has performed within KPIs that you have established. So for example, if you targeting if you tested all of these audiences and suddenly you see that this one, petite below, is performing very, very well, like it's getting you purchases at a low cost, what you would do is you would create audience based on this audience, a lookalike audience based on this audience. Sorry. So petite below, it was just like I took it as an example. So for instance, let's say this one. I'm not sure what it is, but let's use it as an example. So you know that, for instance, people who are following, like people from 25 to 45 are your ideal buyers with this specific audience, because you can see it from data. And then what you would do, you would save this audience. You would save this audience, and then let me find it. Okay, test audience here, as you can see. And then what you would do is you would create lookalike audience. Okay, you cannot create. So you would create the lookalike audience based on, for example, on website visitors. So you can create lookalike of people who have visited the website, and you can create lookalike people of people who have purchased. You can create lookalike of people who have added to cart. And what you'll find is that sometimes these are the audiences that are performing very well. So for instance, you can even have audiences of people who have spent top 5% of the time. The highest top 5% people spend like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes on the website in the last 14 days. So you can have lookalike created out of that audience. So there are a lot of options that you can have. And for instance, just this one audience. So let's do this one, other one, because it has more people pixeled, 5,000 people, as you can see. And you would create lookalike from this. And if you would go after United States only, you can still have like 6 audiences created out of this. So there is a lot of new audiences that you can test, and these are also people that have spent time on the website, that are likely to be engaged and likely to be in the target audience that we want to have. And on top of that, when you create new audiences, you still have this ability here to just make it narrow it down, like only married people. And this way you can on one side you can scale your ads, but on the other side, if you feel that they're not performing as well, you can have additional layer of targeting to your audiences. So guys, hope it was useful and it's applicable to your campaigns or your client campaigns. I'll attach this checklist to this training, so you can utilize it. Again, if you want to use Quaya, that's how it's spelled, Quaya. You can just grab it. It's some $100 something per month. Very, very useful tool. If you're creating a lot of campaigns, it will save you tons of time. And I'll see you in the next training session. Thank you.